All right. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. Let's start this one off. Today, I want to talk about what Bitcoin is doing. Okay, so I'm gonna make it nice and sweet and short, possible, if it's possible, right? So Bitcoin is showing signs of weakness. Okay, and in the signs of weakness, I can see signs of strength as well. But obviously, these are short-term trends that we're looking at. So what I want to do is I want to move you straight into the charts and show you a few bits and bobs about what's exactly going on in the market. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back to this chart in a bit and we'll talk about it because I had a conversation with someone and I kind of sat down and drew this again just so I can show you exactly what's going on, right? So number one fact we can see BTC, let's go here. We can see a fact is the market is down 3%. Oh my days, market's down again. We can see the whole market is bloody. In fact, we can actually demonstrate this here and look at this. Apart from one coin, which is actually still dumping as well, but everything is bloody. So the entire market, there's been massive dumps. What's going on, right? That's what everybody needs to know. And I know a lot of people are just fed up of seeing these pumps and dumps, but it's all part of the cycle, guys. It's all part of the cycle. What we need to do is stay calm, level-headed, and actually see what it is and take it for what, what it's giving us. The market will decide what to do, right? So one good thing we can see is how a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of Ethereum, a lot of Zilliqa have been moving out of exchanges. At the same time, we can see a lot of addition of USD, right? Or like, US pegged dollars, right? Coming into exchanges. And when we're seeing numbers like this moving into exchanges, right? When we see numbers like this moving into exchanges, like here, we've got 42 million, 16 million, 20 million, and so on and so forth, we can see that this money is coming into the exchange in order to actually buy. Now, Sushi sadly is coming into the exchanges because Sushi suffered a hack. I think it was how many was it? Let me just quickly check. So Sushi had a $3 million Ethereum hack. Okay, so sadly, that's what Sushi has suffered from. And there's a lot of other FUD going on there, so I won't really talk about this. And there was another news that broke out yesterday regarding OpenSea, how they were actually doing inside trades. So a lot of scammers out there. Even these protocols are scammers as well. But anyway, we're not here for this, right? So what we're looking at is we can see this is actually indicating bullish, right? So that means BTC is moving out of exchanges. Ethereum is moving out of exchanges, and that's a lot of money we can see here. Here, for example, we can see $1 billion worth of Ethereum moved out of exchanges. That is extremely bullish, right? We can see BTC, not much, $67 million worth. But then again, this whole month, I believe, so far, I think about 30 or 40,000 BTC has left exchanges. So all of this is extremely, extremely bullish stuff. And let me just double check if the chat is working, guys. Give me a second, because I have noticed that for some reason, when I'm viewing the chat, sometimes on the phone, basically, for some reason, I don't get to see anything. But anyway, so this is the situation so far. Everything looking super, super solid. But why is all of this happening? What can we expect from all of this? Well, I want to take you to an older chart that I did on another video once. We were talking about Elliott wave patterns. And based on the pattern, I did this formula. And I said, look, if I use Fibonacci's, and these were all Fibonacci lines, we can expect to see an Elliott wave. So what I did today, I went back and I kept on looking at the chart, and I looked at the chart on a higher time frame. So this was me doing it on a daily time frame, and of course I had a lot of data here. Everything was seemed awesome here, but I noticed something else. So when I noticed something else on this chart on a weekly, I said, okay, let me draw this chart and see what's really going on. And I saw this, and let me take some of this off so it will make more sense to you, right? Even take this off for now. I'll bring it back up, guys. This is what I saw. And that kind of freaked me out. So I'm looking at this on a weekly, and I'm seeing this massive, massive Elliott wave forming here. All right. And we know Elliott wave has a wave 1, wave 2, a massive wave 3, and wave 3 is always the bigger one, then wave 4, and a wave 5. This is all telling me that we are near the end of the market cycle, but at the same time telling me that wave 5 has not happened. Of course, if we use mini time frames like the daily time frames, we can see multiple patterns forming here, and we can see another Elliott wave forming inside this Elliott wave, right? But this was just awesome to see. So this kind of tells me that this is an Elliott wave, and this is a more powerful Elliott wave, the one that could take us there. So far we're on track to actually go to this level. So ultimately everything is possible. Also, what I did was I wanted to see which levels we were bouncing on and why we were bouncing around those areas, right? So what I did was I drew some boxes, right? I drew some boxes. In fact, let me take this off. I drew some boxes and I said, okay, what was going on here? Why were we protecting this particular level? Well, it seems we were protecting the Fibonacci level here when we actually dumped down to these $28,000 levels and everything. You can see how the Fibonacci corresponds to this, says that we shouldn't have gotten below the $27,000 level, which I've mentioned. According to Fibonacci, this is the end of the cycle if we actually go below this level, because this would be the 50% invalidation level. However, we protected it and we pumped back up. But then I wanted to see, where did we pump up and what did we do, right? So what we did here, you can see, and I'll show you this. What we did here was, you see here, back in January 2021, we had this massive pump and a rejection. So we created a lovely little support area here. So this was a support and resistance zone that we created. So by just not measuring, just put a box here, I can see this, horizontal channel here. And we broke above this particular resistance somewhere down here on July. You can see on July, we tested it, and then in August, we break through. Now what we're doing is we're actually testing this line, which is insane to see that we are actually testing this particular line. So if we are testing this and we are looking for a bounce, what the kind of a pattern we're looking at is this. Then we continue to move up, and this is what I'm looking at. Hey Bubble, how you doing, bro? You're right. So this is what I'm looking at. So this is all telling me that the market still wants to play the game, right? So ultimately, of course, we are slightly bearish here because everything else has been indicating we are bearish. And for this, just to be real, we can actually expect to see a little bit more of a dump. Okay, because when we look at the charts, we see something, and I'll get the other chart again. Give me a second. Let me bring in the other chart. Yeah, this chart here, because this chart will tell you exactly what's going on. So when we do bring this chart in, we can see the daily RSI and the stochastic RSI. I mean, this daily RSI is showing that, market wants to go down a little bit. Absolutely fine. We have a nice little confluence here. Absolutely no issues at all. But we do have this bullish divergence forming on the stochastic RSI, as you can see here, right? We have this bullish divergence here where it is pushing upwards, but there's this little bit of a bearish confluence here based on the market. So we can see the market's going down, and also we can see the RSI going down. So that's a confirmation, right? That's what we see here. But we do see this slight bearish divergence here saying no. Market says it wants to go down, but no, we want to go up. So we can see all of this data, which is awesome to see. But when we look at the weekly, this is where we can see the actual data, where we can see a flat line here. For example, this is kind of a flat line. We're in this middle point, undecided right now. Hey KR, how you doing, bro? So we're kind of undecided here, but the stochastic RSI is saying no, we do want to go down. So we see a more powerful move here. And again, here we can see the candle saying, look, undecided. So you can see on the let me take this off, for example. So we can see the RSI is telling us that we are undecided. And also let me get rid of the volume so I can show you more of what's going on here, because these are very powerful data points to look at. So we can see the RSI is giving us confluence that basically the market is undecided, and we are here as well, undecided. Here we can see the market is giving us the bearish divergence that we just noticed on the daily, right? So you can see how we've got this bullish divergence here, but we've got a bearish divergence here. So there's a divergence forming on either way. It's bullish and bearish. Ultimately, when you take both of these together, it is definitely 100% undecided right now. So this is what we're seeing, undecided data on this, confirmed over a weekly and over a daily period. Now, other thing to look at is the title. You've probably noticed how I'm 10 minutes behind on the live, so I'm not ignoring you. No worries, bro. That's fine. Don't worry. So what we've got is this particular situation. Now, I wanted to take you on a higher time frame because it's really, really important to see what's going on a higher time frame. This is where I said Bitcoin is showing a bit of weakness. So this is where we can see that weakness also forming. So remember, we've had this bullish divergence on a daily, we've had a bearish divergence on a weekly, and all of this is coming back and calculating on a monthly that, look guys, we've just come back to the support. And this is where it's showing a little bit of weakness. So what we need to do is right now, the entire market, bulls and everybody, anyone who's planning to buy BTC, really needs to, and let me get rid of some of this, give me a second, I can bring it back again, really needs to protect this one line, because we are coming near to the end of the month. And I'll bring the other chart back just in a second just to show you. We're coming to the end of the month, and whatever we do, we need to protect these levels here, especially this specific line here. We do have a higher high, but ultimately, as you can see, this is a very crucial candle, which is indecisive, right? And you can see that whenever we have a situation like this, we don't know whether we're going up or we're going down. And the last time we've seen one of these in the recent near term, which in April. So there is some signs of weakness showing here, right? So we ultimately need to see this, and you can see, if you can go back, you can see that, where we are right now and how things work out. So whenever we've had one of these, we've always had some sort of a bearish situation, right? And that's what I wanted to warn you guys about. So that's the weakness that I'm seeing. But ultimately, obviously, we've got the stochastic RSI on a monthly still confirming bullish as well. So awesome to see. And then if I bring you back here, obviously that's kind of like, how I just showed you everything here probably scared you a little bit. It's like, okay, BTC is going to go in for a dump, right? But there's more. So what we need to do is, let me bring back the chart. Sorry, let me delete all of these and bring it back. And I want to show you. So I want to show you this, right? And I want to get you back down to earth, because that's what we do here. We want to understand the market for what it is. So we're in the daily right now, and we have this very awesome date coming, which is the 24th of September. And we are here now. We're not that far. You can see we're approximately, I don't know, about 7-8 days away. So you can see we are very close to this 24th of September, and we all know what happens on the 24th of September. 24th of September, we have an options expiry. So if we actually see dumps forming before, then we usually see a pump. Or if we see a pump, then we actually see a dump. So I can see the 24th of September being a very important thing for us, right? A very important date for us. Now, obviously, you'll have a lot of guys talking about traditionally how September month is usually bearish. I think this current situation in this particular month has proved that it's not. It doesn't have to be always the same, and history does not have to repeat itself. So seeing all of this is absolutely fine. Now, one thing I did mention on the Discord yesterday, I said, guys, if we do see a dump, we could expect to see a dump to up to $7,000. And what I'm talking about is something similar where we were yesterday. So we're looking at this, right? Let me just show you what I mean, right? Does it bring it here? Close enough. Well, let me bring this, hold on, better. Because what I do sometimes is I use the ATR, which is the average true range, and the average true range will give you like a worst case scenario to expect. So close enough. I mean, I think it's around here somewhere, so close enough, right? So if you look at this, here we are. So it's about currently showing about 5,800. So that's the worst case scenario. But on the plus side, we can see a lovely little, $10,000 pump here, right? Easy. That brings us up into these particular levels. So we can see on the plus side, it is definitely good. So using the average true range, you can actually see what could be expected as a little bit of a dump. So let's go back to our other chart that we did, right? So this is the same chart, basically. I just kind of done an overlay. I'm not going to save this chart, but I just wanted to show you what I'm seeing, right? So if we were to say this is what the larger time frame weekly Elliott wave is showing us, right? So this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Then what we could expect, and this is kind of how the Elliott wave works, usually whatever wave 1 is, wave 5 is always very similar to that. So what I did was I measured it. I said, how many percent was that? It was 351%. So I said, if I measure this bottom to the top and do 351%, what price would it give me? Right? That's all I want to know. What price does it actually give me? And we can see that the price we get is about $121,000. So then I said, okay, let me activate my logarithmic chart and see what's the range of this based on the maths that we just did. And it's really funny because the top of the channel is around the $128,000. So all of this is saying that this could be, and remember, Elliott wave can be put anywhere. There's no absolute of where you put it, but it's like a continuation. But you just find the market lows and market tops, right? By doing this, what I found was this was my pivot points. And based on those pivot points and based on how Elliott wave mathematically works, it's telling us that we do have another leg up. And so far, we can come down a little bit back into this channel possibly, and then shoot back up again. You know what I mean? So everything was looking super, super solid, provided the momentum is up. Obviously, that's a very important thing for us to also see as well. Now, looking at the 50-week moving average, you can see that the 50-week moving average would be the support line. And this kind of brings us into that range that we were talking about, how if we did dump, I think this was it. Yeah, this was definitely it. Give me a second. I think this was it. So I saw a 7,000. I can't remember what it was, but that's what it is, right? Ultimately. So this is the situation we've got, right? But we do want to see a pump. Let's see what the weekend does. So far, what I'm seeing is this particular situation here where we have a lot of funds coming into the exchanges. Let's refresh and see. We can see funds coming into the exchanges. I mean, 190 million now. So you can see a lot of funds. This is Binance. A lot of USD is just sitting there. That's a good sign to see, right? When we see that there's a lot of USD sitting in the exchange, we know they're going to come in and they're going to buy everything, whatever they will. So there's going to be a pump in the weekend. It's going to be a secret, silent, without institution. And I'm sure this is institution, obviously. We all know this. But we are going to see this pump coming in. And you can see they're secretly buying. On-chain is on fire. So this is what I'm seeing, guys. I hope this kind of makes sense to you. So, you know, this is now, let me get rid of this because it is laggy. You can see this is the bottom that we've just created. This is the support that we're finding right now on a weekly higher time frame. We're finding this support, right? This is exactly where this support is. And you can see this is going to be our major resistance that we need to break above. It's not going to be easy and it's not going to happen over a single day, right? But when it does happen, it's going to happen. And when the moves do come in, even based on the Fibonacci's, right? So when I did the Fibonacci's, you can see that we can expect it to shoot up all the way to about $102,000. So I'm not telling you anything else here. I'm just saying, look, just have a look at this Elliott wave and what it's actually showing us. We do have a 1 2 3 4 5 pattern here, and we've done the 3. And the funny thing is this pattern that I've drawn actually is from 2018. So you can see how I've taken all the weekly data. This is a 2018 pattern, which actually takes us into 2020. So if we continue this 1 2 3 4 5 pattern, we go into 2022. And if it's on a 2022, funnily, that's a 4-year cycle. Is this a sign of a 4-year bull run? Possibly. So that's something else. You know, when I looked at it, I was like, wow, okay, this is kind of awesome how this is all working. I mean, actually, it's 3 years because if you do December to 2021 December, then it's actually 3 years. But the point is I mean, it's just, you can't make it up, right? You see this pattern, the pivot high, pivot lows, you see all of those, and then you apply the Elliott wave theory to it, and this is what it shows, you know? So that's what I'm seeing, but there is some weakness. We might actually still see another week or two coming down. So let's see what that does, because obviously of our current situation with the HMA and the current situation with the 50-week moving average, this specific zone that we're in, right? But there's more great news to this as well, right? So I'll give you some more great news. So this is not a bad news thing, guys. This is actually quite a good, great news to understand, you know, what's really, really going on. Now, one of the other things we can see, and I'll get rid of some of this, right, just to kind of show you what we're seeing, right? So we've entered this channel, and we've entered this channel because of where we were. So this is the channel, right? This is actually the channel that we see. You see this channel here, and you can see that we've been bouncing up and down. Ignore this area here. We've been bouncing up and down here. We just got to break this channel and move back up. That's all I'm seeing for me right now. Also, the other thing I've noticed is when I'm looking at the patterns, I'm seeing this specific area here. Right, I'm just seeing this specific area here, and it seems this slightly downward trend, we've just broken it and invalidated it, and now we're moving back up. You see what I mean, right? You can see this. So of course, on a daily you might be seeing this. It's not that bad as long as we don't have a low that is lower than this or lower than this. We're fine, because remember I told you that for us to be really excited, we have to get a candle, right, that breaks this particular line and moves up. That's the one that says confirmation, right? Okay, we're back on track, we're moving back up again. Right, so just stay calm, see what's going on. I think this is going to last another few more weeks, but there's more news about this as well. So for example, do you remember, and I'm sure you guys do, I have shown it on pretty much all my videos at some point or another, how I mentioned a specific date, and I said, look, based on previous history, based on the maths that we did, a reversal is expected on the 18th of October. This is kind of taking us into that 18th of October situation. Do you see what I mean? So that's going to be very interesting to see, because I've never changed my date. I've left it there for everybody to see and judge me for what it is. I'm the only guy who's actually done a date and left that date there on YouTube compared to everybody else. I know some people are coming in. You can go to YouTube now and see some people are over bullish, or some people are bearish, and some people have vanished. Some people have not streamed for 3-4 days, because when the market reacts the opposite way to what they think or what they've said, they don't know how to face the market, so they just disappear. You know, I've seen this many times. Where some of the guys just disappear and then come back 2 days later. Oh, sorry guys, I had to take care of stuff. Oh, sorry guys, I had to do this, I had to do that. I've seen this quite a few times. So end of the days, I'm here, doesn't matter, through the thick, through the thin. That's what I am. I mean, I might change it up a little bit. If we're in the bear market, we might start talking about UFOs and aliens and, you know, God knows whatever. We might talk about those, but we're gonna have fun, you know what I mean? We're still gonna do charts. It doesn't matter, right? So this is where I want to leave you. So, you know, I'm not going to leave you right now, but we are going to continue. But what I'm trying to say is, with this chart, remember, 28th is when we are, sorry, the 18th of October is what we're expecting. So for another 3-4 weeks, guys, chill out, relax, you know, relax. Don't worry too much about it. Let's see what happens. The market's going to do its thing, and we do have to get above these trend lines, these mega trend lines. These are very important lines for us to get over. So I hope this kind of makes sense to you, what I've just shown you here. So you can see we do have a sloping channel. We are breaking out of that, which is fantastic. That's great to see. You do see we have an Elliott wave theory pattern here from 2018 to now, and we have completed all the channels. Yeah, definitely, bro. We talk about you. Oh, we talked about it the other day, right? Remember, we talked about what, Adam and Eve the other day. My God, we talked about Adam and Eve the other day. That was a good one, right? El Bubble, we talked about that, man. Yeah, definitely. We'll start opening minds and start opening how people think about certain things, right? That was insane, that conversation we had. That's why I said, don't get me started. But so this is what we've got. Anyway, so far so good. You know, I don't see anything that bad. As I said, we can see a little bit of a pullback, but that pullback is absolutely fine. As long as we can hold the 50-week, we're going to be awesome. I don't see much of an issue. Now, let's move over to other stuff. Let's move over to Ethereum. And also in Ethereum, a lot of the things some of you guys have probably not noticed is, a lot of you guys haven't noticed this. You see this thin line here, this thin arrow line here. Guys, this is an Elliott wave. I drew the first leg of the Elliott wave. So we drew leg 1, leg 2, and this is 3. And I drew this and I left it there. And actually now I can adjust it because, and this was based on maths, but I can adjust it a little bit now. I'll move it here. If I put this as the wave 1, and if we continue to do this, then this could easily be wave 2, and then we expect a wave 3. So wave 3 has not started yet. Okay, so far it seems to be we are doing a wave 2 right now. So this was actually an Elliott wave theory. I just left there, nobody even realized this, and all of this maths was done based on Elliott wave. Obviously a lot of this has been invalidated, so I will adjust the charts and sort that out later. Disappointed with Solana. I'm disappointed with that. you know, we do have a bearish confluence here. Everything is confirming that it is absolutely bearish. Even the ATR is saying, look, we're going to see another further $20 dump. So all of this is saying this. I'm disappointed. I'm about $2 down on my recent buy, because remember, I bought it at 139. So I'm a bit $2 down. It's a shame how it broke the channel, broke the trend. So right now, there's really nothing much to say here. I mean, we can go by all sorts of stuff and we can make things up, you know, but actually the facts is something else, right? We can say, oh, look, it's holding support here. Oh, this is the support zone. I'm not going to say any of that, because that's not the fact. The fact is, this has the chance to come all the way back down to $126 and then rebound. That is the fact. Right, so we're not going to use this, because remember, when we went parabolic, we didn't create any support. Of course, we did create some support here, but majority of these levels do not have enough strong support. So there is one support here, there is one support here. You see what I'm trying to say? So if you start looking at the charts, this is probably the best support zone that we have, but that means that we're going to come back down to this level here, and we might come back to the $70. So can we really accept this? You know what I mean? So this is what Solana's done, and this is what happens when something goes parabolic. This is dangerous. We want charts to stay for these lines to stay as flat as possible, right? That's the best way to do. When you go parabolic, you have a situation. Same thing. I'm going to move over to eGold right now, EGLD. And pretty much the same thing happened on EGLD, right? And, you know, I've mentioned this as well. I said, look, guys, as you look at the ATR, it's also showing that we could have a $30 dump, continue to have a $30 dump. What we want to see is something go flat, not too parabolic. We want it to go as flat as possible. When you go parabolic, you do get to see these massive dumps coming back to the levels. So again, just stay observant on this one. We have calmed down. We did break all our targets. That's the great thing. So short term, we did everything. I hope people took their profits, because I have. So I'm now waiting to rebuy some eGold, but I won't buy until I come back to this trend line at least. And I told you my trend line target is about $210. So that's what I'm looking for, a $210 eGold. That's what I want to pick up and then move up and move to the next leg, right? Go to that $387 level. So eGold right now, temporarily, I think obviously everything indicated it was too hot, as you can see. Now we have full confluence, full confirmation that the market wants to come down. Everything has been indicating it needs to come down, and it is 100% coming down now. Full in agreement with the market. Cardano, told you it just shit itself. So there is some news. So there have been some platforms moving over from Ethereum to Cardano. So I think those news will break out, and we just need to see more and more people use them. Latest news is that a few other people have started working on Cardano, and Cardano is going to be doing some sort of a conference or something. I think it's on the 25th or the 26th. I can't remember which one it was, but I think they're doing something. So that might then bring in some pump or something. But other than that, it's just kind of right now. One thing good though is holding that support, but can it really hold it, or is it going to just fall and, you know, shoot through? Because if it falls, that's it. Do you know what I mean? If it breaks the previous all-time high, then that's it. You know what I mean? There's not really much to say, because after that, then you only have one support here, which is the $2.19, and then you have another support here at $1.85. So that's very bad. I mean, I'm just disappointed with what Cardano did. I had so much hope. 5-6 years we've been following this, and what happened is just like, I don't know. It's just one of those kind of complete disaster. Let's move over to DOT. I have no idea what DOT is doing, but DOT is definitely breaking support lines and resistance lines and constantly going up, apart from the other day when we dumped. It did kind of peak above, which is awesome, and the last few days it's been coming down, which is actually fine. It came back to that support line that we drew. Remember this support line here? So now it's finding support, which is awesome to see. Let's see if it can reverse back and actually go to the 618 level. So 1618 level, which is a $38. It tested it. If we can go back there again, break that, then we can even test this zone here, because it's really important. However, we do have this bearish confluence forming here, saying, look, guys, you know, we've been bullish that, but right now we want to go down a little bit. So calm down. You know, we don't want too much money pumping into the system. We need to basically calm down a little bit. So this is going to follow this down. I think it's going to rebound around here somewhere. If it does rebound and it does confirm again and it breaks above the trend line, it should also be solid. Let's move into Shiba. My God, Shiba. So what I did was I actually drew this channel here, just so kind of we kind of visualize what's going on here. So we can see that out of all these red candles, so what we're looking at is these red candles. We can see this one red candle would be the neckline of this whole channel, because you can see we have a channel here. And so let me just draw a channel here. Let's just put this here. This is it. So this is the channel, right? This is the channel. So you can see the channel is on the bottom. We can use, let's use this, right? Let's use the bodies, right? So here we're using just some wicks and bodies. So you can see the channel is here and you can see this is here, right? This is the actual resistance right now. So yesterday we did have a massive pump, right? And you can see this pump here. We had this massive pump that actually took us and touched that level. You see that level of resistance, it actually touched that. It tried to smash through. It got, you know, a lot of dumping was happening, because remember we had the Coinbase effect. This is what a Coinbase effect looks like anyway. Bulls came back and did push it back up again. But then again, the dumping was happening so fast that they actually failed and we did get a low. So let's see what happens right now. So I'm not going to say anything, but looking at all of this, for me, I'm now got, as I said, I've mentioned it on Discord as well. I said, look, for me, this only makes one sense to me, is I need to buy as much more as possible. And this one I'm going to be holding for a 5-year plan now. So this is going to be my 5-year holding now, and then see what it does, because this could end up to be the Doge. You know what I mean? Like how the Doge went from 0.00 pennies to all of a sudden to, like, you know, 70 cents, 80 cents. I think this could pull a Doge on us. So for that reason, I'm going to be extra bullish. Obviously, I'm only going to invest what I can afford to lose. But I think I need to be extra bullish on this one, because whatever, whoever hasn't come in yet or known about it, they're going to come in, because now it's opened up to millions of people, and it's now on all the top exchanges. And one fact about this is, as a meme coin, we've never seen other meme coins come onto exchanges that quick, right? None of them have come that quick. But here we can see how, you know, Shiba Inu has entered pretty much all the major exchanges, centralized and decentralized, plus stock platforms as well. So that says there's actually some potential for this. So even if this is a joke, at least we know this doesn't print any more than what's there, compared to Doge, where Doge prints 10,000 coins pretty much every other minute. So I think when people realize the difference between Doge and this, that this is fixed supply and Doge isn't, I think we're going to see a lot more adoption on this, and that's what I'm gambling on. So if that kind of makes sense. So here, it's all about making money, nothing else, right? I just want to make a little bit of money. Happy days on this one. Let's move over to another one. This is a coin I was actually looking at. So I did make a nice little list of coins that I want to talk about, and I think they got great potential. So I was looking at this one. It's called XCAD. Obviously, you know, I talked about it the other day. And XCAD right now is doing awesome. Obviously, there's some news coming out today, so there's a lot of hype around it. And so far we can see this trend line is forming very well. There has been a little bit, so every time they come out with the news, we can see this is the kind of moves we get. So it is going parabolic. Question is how parabolic is it going to go to? But ultimately on a daily, what you're seeing is, look guys, RSIs are saying, guys, calm down, it's going to come down again. Stochastic RSI is saying, don't worry, let it go down. So all of this is indicating it will come down, so just patient with it until we see another move. So once we see the blue line flip, that's when we're going to go bullish, and I think that's going to push towards that $10 mark. So I don't know if anyone's picked it up, but this is in a good zone. It was coming to a good zone, and I picked up some, so just a very small amount. And I want to see where this bounces, so that should be quite cool to see, right? Also, you can see that we have this. If I just use this wick and use this, you can see we've got this slightly sloping downward channel, which we should break out of anyway. This is always a bullish pattern, so I'm going to observe this and see what happens. I mentioned MBOX to a few people. Now, MBOX yesterday did a lovely little pump, and then today when we opened the candle, we were still pumping. We were trying to break this previous resistance level. We did this maths and we were trying to break this, but unfortunately we couldn't, so we failed, right? But ultimately looking super solid, super solid. And I can see that on mbox we've entered this specific channel here, right? So this is a specific channel here, and we're kind of bouncing around this channel, so it's a matter of time when we break out. And so far, like for example, when we talk about channels, this is another channel that we just broke out of. As you can see here, we just broke out of the channel, so super solid. Let's see what it does. So far everything looks awesome. I'm not gonna worry too much about it, but it's one of those coins that it's so new, you got to give it a chance, but it is high risk. Remember guys, everything is high risk, okay? When you're investing, make sure to invest only what you can afford to lose. It's very important. And remember, I'm not your financial advisor. So we do have this bearish divergence forming here, you know, showing that the market wants to bearish confluence, and we have this bullish divergence forming here. Sorry, my bad, I just got it all mixed up. Some of these words, they get mixed up a little bit. Anyway, so let's see what happens. Kind of undecided, but ultimately if we can hold this trend line, we should be okay and continue to move up a little bit, and then we can start setting our targets, right? Because one of the things we don't want to do is, when the market momentum or psychology is moving another way, we don't want to put targets on. So if we were to be positive, we can see we can come to this 1618 level, which would be $7.90. And if we were to come down, then pretty much on the line, it's saying $5.39, which is already done, I believe. So that's super, super solid. AVAX had a nice little parabolic run, as you can see, okay? And remember what I say, guys, whenever something goes up too fast, it's going to come down hard, right? And this is what AVAX has done. It's just gone complete, like it left this channel. And this was a great channel. It left this, and then from here, when it decided to go parabolic, it did this, and that means it is coming down. There is no ifs and buts, and everything is indicating, look, you're too high, you're coming down. So we can see this, we can use this data, and we can even see from the ATR, it's showing here, for example, low risk, not much. You see, if you look here, low risk, like we could have had a $1, $2 change, but here right now it's telling us we might see a $10 change. So we might have a dump that takes us $10 down. Do you know what I mean? So you can see when the market heats up too fast, these true ranges also change. So all of this data is suggesting that, look guys, too fast, too quick, you have to come down. And if you do, then basically you're going to be okay to move on. So market always needs to create nice little support zones, and I can see this is a lovely little channel. As long as we can stay above this channel, the $50 mark on AVAX, we should be okay. So that's that. BNB, we told you the other day as well, BNB needs to get above this line. So it doesn't matter what BNB does. So far it's following BTC, Ethereum and everything. So that's all I'm seeing on BNB. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but so far, as I said, look, BNB is following Ethereum BNB, but this is what I'm seeing. When Ethereum is moving out of the exchanges, this might just get a nice little push. So let's see what happens. Last coin, I talked about this yesterday. I was looking at AVAX and sorry, not AVAX, ACH, Alchemy Pay. And what we see on Alchemy Pay is this lovely little trend line here forming. All right, so we see this little channel, this little triangle forming here. And all of this to me was bullish, super bullish, and we are holding this. But I did mention something on the group, and I said, look guys, all right, this is not funny, check this out. Where is it? There it is. So if we do have a dump, and leave all of this because it's a very new coin, I said if it comes here, then I'm going to be picking some up, but if it doesn't, and if we continue to go up, then it should be you know, even more bullish. Obviously, if we break this channel, so if we have something that says all of a sudden pushes and comes and breaks this channel, that is ultra bullish. And I'll tell you why it's ultra bullish, right? It will make complete sense to you. So if you take this and you take this and you take this out and just put it here, for example, see if we break out, we could see a pump from the channel that will bring us to about 18 cents. You see what I mean? So that would technically be higher than the previous close that we've had, the previous high ATH we've had. We can actually go below this. So that's that. Now on the downside, I don't really see it falling below this line for some odd reason, because of this support we've created here, which is actually a very powerful support. You can see how we came down, smashed down, but support, and then we just shot up again. So this is giving me an indication that this is a lovely little support line. But that's when I want to be bullish. If it comes down to this, this is when I will basically see this market come down here and then push forward. And that's what I want to do, because what I want to do is I want to make the difference. So from here to here, for example, I want to make this change. And you can see if we did come back to this channel, it's a 42% difference, you know. And then from here, if we did go parabolic and we did go up to here, that's 173%. So that's the kind of a maths I'm doing. You know, I'm just looking for channels. Ultimately, my target first take profit would be around here. My second take profit would be around here, because this is a bit of a massive resistance here as well, you can see. So ultimately that's what it would be. Even then I'll make 95%. So that's why I was saying, like, if I get it here, I'm going to buy it. But remember guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Market looking super solid. BTCs, we're getting a short BTC supply squeeze. Awesome to see. Net flows are down, so that's all good. Funding down. Exchange reserves for Ethereum also down. Everything is down, guys. Everything is down. This is what I like. Everything is down. So super solid here. Nothing much to see. Let the market do its thing. It's Friday, so obviously most of the institutions are going to dump their crap and they're just going to leave. And that's when the real bulls are waiting with their dollars to come in. So that's going to be awesome to see. We can see who's been having liquidations and who's not been having liquidation. So there has been a good amount of wreckage. Not too much, so nothing too much to be concerned. This is pretty much average, very usual in the market. Let's have a look at the spot markets to see what's going on. Okay, so spots markets, we can see there's a lot of BTC action happening here. Not enough sells. You see more buys than sells. Bullish, super bullish. So everything here is showing super bullish. But let's see, as I said, it could take us a few weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks. I've got a gut feeling 18th of October is a date. And if we get it, my God, would that be crazy, right? That would definitely be like a prediction. But obviously I don't predict anything. I just tell you what the facts are. Yep, nothing to look at here. Nothing to look at here. I wouldn't look at the gainers, because the gainers are only showing whatever the volume is remaining, and this is just constantly minusing down. So this doesn't really make sense. You know, when you're looking at all of this, it's just volume coming down and going into other stuff. Like here, it went to 40% and now it's coming down. So it's not making any sense. Ignore, when you see something like this, ignore it. It's not 100% green. It's just showing how high we were over a 24-hour period and we're coming down now. So be careful, especially when you're hearing news or if you're watching other channels and this and that. Respect everybody. Obviously, everyone's doing their best to give you the best content out there. But please do understand that whenever, you know, someone's hyping something, just try to stay on the ground. Don't go to the moon. You know, try to stay on the ground. Try to take 2 steps back and realize what the market is. So remember the other day I made this emergency update, right? And I said, guys, market is heating up. This is going on. It's an emergency because it's not what it seems, you know. And that's what I wanted to tell everybody, that don't FOMO right now. Don't get into this thing that you're into the hype train. Stay calm and look what the market is doing. So that's where, you know, if you guys followed that information, you should have been already warned. You should already know that we were expecting all of this, right? Because we understand that the market is going too hot, too quick, too soon, and that's not how we want it. We do have a pattern and we will follow that pattern regardless what anybody says to us. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm just checking the chat and I've just noticed something. So Will Clemente from Twitter, he was posting something yesterday regarding YouTubers and how stupid some of them make these faces and everything and how fake they are. So I kind of went there and I said, no, not me. I'm only stating facts. And we got a few likes and this and that. But I understood what he's talking about, because these people, and the worst part was the channels he was talking about, they're actually partners. Do you know what I mean? So they're actually business partners in real life as well. And I was like, okay, I can see what's going on. So, you know, ultimately a lot of people are just fed up, you know, because there's always super hype or super FUD. And there's no fact in between. Do you know what I mean? So this is kind of thing is like, everyone's like, oh, exactly as predicted. Predict what? You don't know what the next candle is. And I talk about this quite a bit. I'm like, you know, guys come out and they predict stuff and do what and this and that. I won't do a prediction. I'm only going to give you mathematical equations, right? Based on what the math says. You know, it's a mathematical number. We don't know what the next candle is here. Do you know what I mean? Even if I put on a minute candle, you can sit there and everybody can, you know, decide, okay, what's going to be the next candle? We wouldn't know. This could be another red candle. This could be a blue candle. We don't know. And this is a minute chart. You know what I mean? So please be careful. All right. Hype trains are great for emotions, but they can also wreck you financially. Always stay calm, be disciplined, because a disciplined trader or a buyer, spot trader or anything like this always will do a lot better than an undisciplined trader or a buyer or spot trader. Remember this, because you're doing everything based on logic and reason. Okay, you're not just jumping in for the hype, because anybody who jumped in on the hype last few days, right, would have been wrecked. Do you know what I mean? If you understand this, for example, when we started, where is it? So when we started this hype train here, anybody who went in now would be down. Do you know what I mean? Even here, for example, they would be down, because it's all about hype. And the point is guys, there's no point. You know, market will do its thing. BTC will always have less supply. BTC will always have more demand. The price will always go up unless, all right, and that's very important to understand, unless they start devaluing. They start taking the fiat supply away. So currently there's more supply of fiat. That means BTC has to be worth more, right? When there's less supply of fiat, BTC may, and this is, you know, that's what I'm saying, it might actually come down in price. But other than that, nothing is 100% and nothing is, you know, absolute. You know, there's no reason saying that BTC can't go all the way down to $1. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing saying that it can't go down. It can. You know, but ultimately over time we are going to be stronger. The more the network grows, the more stronger we become, and from that point onwards we're just going to move forward. You know what I mean? So I hope this kind of helps you understand, like, you know, how the market and everything works. And let's hope everyone found this helpful. Also, guys, do you have any coins you want me to talk about? If there is, then I'll talk about it. If not, then I think I'm going to call this stream quits and carry on with life. And hope this kind of helped you understand that, look, there's so much news, there's so much noise, there's so much everything. Sometimes you just got to stay on the ground and see things for what it is. Understand the market for what it is, respect the market for what it is, and let the market do its thing. You, me, we, the entire global planet can't do anything to change the outcome of what the market's going to do on the next candle. Do you know what I mean? We can't do anything. We can try, and trust me, I have tried, but I can assure you that it's not as simple as people think it is. You know what I mean? So we need to be real. And guys, if you're in profit, and I'm going to say this again, if you're in profit in some alts or whatever, you have to start taking some profits out, because if you don't start taking some profits out, you are going to end up getting wrecked. So be careful. That's all I'm going to say. But other than that, guys, like, share, subscribe. And I just realized my cursor didn't show the whole stream. Pretty stupid. I forgot to switch the scene. But other than that, listen, guys, I hope you guys understood exactly what I was showing here. I hope you found it helpful, you know, and share with the community, share with your community, share on WhatsApp, share on Facebook, get the community growing. Hit that like if you haven't hit that already. You know, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and join the Discord group, and follow me on Twitter as well, because sometimes I do post stuff on Twitter, not all the time, but sometimes I'll retweet or whatever. But yeah, that's what I do. So other than that, guys, it's been a great time being here. Try and hopefully open your eyes up to see, look, there's a shorter time frame, a little bit of a risk, but ultimately there's a bigger time frame, and there is absolutely no risk on that, and the market's going to do its own thing. So just stay calm, carry on, you know, keep calm and carry on, guys. So yeah, other than that, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on another one, guys. Adios, my amigos.